Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today I'm doing a fresh flower corsage using mums and button mums. So as far as wiring these fresh flowers, it's a little bit different than your average like rose or carnation. So I'm going to start off by trimming the blossoms off of the stems. You can use as many as you want, as few as you want. I just kind of went to town trimming the nicer ones. I'm going to leave about maybe quarter to half an inch on the stem itself underneath. I'm using, I believe this is a 24 gauge wire. I'm going to push it right up through that stem, through to the top of the mum there. And then you make a little hook, like a little shepherd's hook, or like a little candy cane. And then you're going to pull that back down. And it usually disappears right into the center for you. And once that's in place, I add some wax floral tape and gently start it around the base of the little flower there. You don't want to squeeze too hard because you don't want to smash that fresh stem that's encasing the wire in the center there, because you don't want it to get all mushy and then it tends to break off and fall down. So you just have to start it off kind of gently. I think that's probably the hardest part, is getting it started at the top there. Once you're past that fresh stem part of the flower, you can just go to town, squeeze it as hard as you want because it's just a wire. So just roll the wax floral tape on down to the bottom. So the wax floral tape, it comes in a variety of different colors. You can get white, I've seen black, there's different shades of green. I usually stick to the traditional kind of just darker green. What that's doing is hiding the mechanics of what you do. You don't want people to see your secrets, so it's covering up that wire, making the stem look like it is part of the flower itself. In Hobby Lobby, they do sell similar to the wax flower tape, but I think it's more of a finishing type of tape that you can use around the actual corsage stem that you put the pin into. But that comes in like a sparkly silver and a sparkly gold. So that's pretty cool too. It's sticky on one side. I would use a little bit of glue, either corsage glue or hot glue, if you're using the sparkly Hobby Lobby tape there to finish off your corsage or boutonniere. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish up all of these little flowers here. And I did ahead some silk leaves from various artificial flowers. I don't think they specifically came from roses, but I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but I do a lot with artificial flowers, and I always say hang on to those leaves because you will use them. You'll use them as collars on your bouquet, and especially use them in boutonnieres and corsages here. So that one might have been a rose, but I've got about 3 of them individually wrapped. And usually at this point, I will have a dual head bow. Typically, you see the bows on corsages rather than boutonnieres. I usually like putting a nice little bow there to kind of finish off the corsage. However, I've got some lily grass. This is my new kick, is this lovely lily grass. So this is a fresh grass. It's real thick. It comes in a variegated or it comes in a dark color, and it can stay out of water for quite some time. So I'm going to use that in lieu of the ribbon, and I'll show you how I do that. When I'm arranging these individual little florets there, I'm trying to kind of go in more of an S shape that kind of follows the body nicely, especially pinned onto the shoulder, or even if you were to turn it into a wrist corsage, this one's going to be a pin on, but you can easily add a bristlet to it, or you can even do like the magnet if you don't want the pin on. Now with the lily grass, I'm going to just grip it towards the back of the corsage and just do a little loop on through and over. So almost like I'm going to gonna tie it off, but instead I'm just doing some little loops in there. And this would look really nice with a boutonniere too. So if you're doing a boutonniere, do a couple of blossoms and then do some of these loops on there. It just gives it a little bit more interest, something different than a bow. And I just trim off the edges. I only trimmed them because they weren't very attractive. But typically the lily grass will come to a nice point that you can kind of use at either end there. Once I have everything how I like it, I'm just gonna use a wire to grab everything, just kind of make a wire wrap around it, give it a big bear hug, and then I'll wind it nice and tight in the back. I do like to use pliers when I'm putting my wire together, but I could not find them at the moment when I was making this, so I just made sure that my hands were pulling it nice and tight. And then once I have everything nice and tight, I'm going to use this wax floral tape again to hide my mechanics and also help aid in keeping everything together. And this would be a good point, like I said, if you're using that Hobby Lobby sparkly tape, you could put it over top of this wax floral tape to give it a nice finished look. I measure about 4 fingers down for my corsages and just trim them right off. You can use wire cutters or scissors. And then I'm going to wrap a little bit more of this wax floral tape just because I want it to cover the very bottom to make sure no wires are poking out and you're not going to accidentally stab somebody with a wire when they go in for a hug or anything like that. Give it a little bit of some fluffing. And then you can add a couple of corsage pins, do one at the bottom, one at the top, or like I said, you could put it into a wristlet, and you'd be all ready to go. Thank you so much for watching.